Alright, just a quick update on the digger I pulled out of the forest a wee while ago. I've taken all the bucket pins off, and as you can see they're fairly well worn. There's a couple of millimetre of steel missing off that pin, and all the others are pretty much the same. I think the previous owner might have used mild steel because they're quite badly worn and the bushings are like new. So I've ordered a new length of 50mm hardened bar, so I'll make some pins out of that next week. Yeah, it should go a lot better after that. But today I'm going to replace the hydraulic oil because I haven't changed it yet. That's the hydraulic tank there. I think it takes around 60 or so litres. And also I will flush out and refill the radiator because that's probably got quite a bit of sediment in it from sitting for so long. So that's the job for today. And I got a nice surprise from Supercheap Auto. They've sent me this good haul of stuff. 4 20-litre containers of ISO 46 hydraulic oil from Gulf Western. A decent toolkit here. It's got all the sockets and hex keys and spanners. Even got screwdriver bits in there. So that'll make life a bit easier. I'll be able to get rid of all my old broken, worn out tools. It's even got a waterproof seal around here, so it'll be ideal for the outdoor jobs. And got this big truck set. It's decent size, goes up to 50mm. So I don't actually have a set that big, so that'll be handy for the big jobs. And this impact driver. I think that's my new favourite tool. And they've also sent some long life coolant and demineralised water and some radiator flush and also a few sets of gloves, so thanks for that, Supercheap. Alright, so I've pulled all the rams in as far as I can so that as much old oil as possible is in the tank, and I've got some 25 litre drums there to catch the old oil. Looks like that bottom plate has been dented with something at some stage, so that could be tricky to get off, but I really need to remove that to get to the bottom of the radiator. Oh, look at the state of that. That's had a hard life. Battery holder, wondered where that went. Another job for later on is replacing that, but for now I'll just leave it hanging down on those back bolts so it's easier to get back up. All sorts of goodies in there. Alright, that's the radiator drained. Looks to be about 10 litres in there. It's pretty dirty really. So I'll close that tap again, fill it up with water and radiator flush, and when the hydraulic oil is filled back up I'll start the engine and run it. Alright, that's the radiator drained, and I've filled it back up, put the radiator flush in it, but I can't start the engine until I've filled the hydraulic tank again. You never run an engine when the hydraulic tank is empty because it just burns out the pump straight away, so looks like it's getting there. Alright, that's pretty near empty, just the last few drips coming out. So that was around about 77 litres, so I should just have enough to fill it back up. Usually I would, if I was doing a 500-hour service, I would take this cap off and give the tank a good flush out and clean the suction filter. There's a suction filter inside the tank, but because I did that a wee while ago I won't bother. So, and also I would put a new return filter in, but those have been done fairly recently, so I won't worry about that. Alright, that's showing full on the level gauge. Because the machine is leaning this way, I put a little bit more in, just because when it's level it'll go about between the red lines. And also all the rams are mostly in, so when they're out it'll go down quite a bit. So that's that done. Now I've just got to get the engine running for 20 minutes so the radiator flush can do its thing. It said leave the engine running for 20 minutes on the bottle, but it's such a big engine that it took 40 minutes for the thermostat to open, so I ended up having to lift the boom up and down just to get the engine working, so it would heat up a bit. Best to let the thermostat open so the radiator flush goes around the whole system, otherwise it doesn't really circulate. So I ended up having to run it for about 45 minutes. You can see there's some good stuff coming out of there now. Nice and brown. Okay, so I've got to flush it with fresh water now, but I'll let the engine cool down a bit before I do that. Not a good idea putting cold water into a hot engine. Alright, so that's the final flush before I put the new coolant in. That's coming out pretty clean now, so the flush has done a good job. Hey, check out these boys.